From business trends to mom, life's delight. She means business, a powerful sight. Sylvia and Jay, a dynamic duo, sharing wisdom, a powerful view, elevating women, breaking the mold. The stories inspiring, brave and bold. So tune in weekly for the latest scoop. She means business, beyond the scope. A podcast powerhouse, a force to see, empowering women, wild and free.
Hey there, welcome to the She Means Business podcast, where we take charge, mold decisions, and transform ambitions. I am your host, Jay Renee.
And I'm Sylvia. We are moms, business owners, and good human beings.
Whoop, whoop. Some days.
Yeah. So we're back for our 7th episode. We made it. No, it's actually 8.
We're on 8 now. Keep
8.
up.
Okay.
Keep up.
It happened so fast.
It does.
I'm proud of us.
I am too. And, with that point, consistency is key.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we made it. I'm going to tell you, I had some people telling me that we won't go make it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I had someone really literally call me and apologize, after watching our episodes, and they were like, oh, well, I'm sorry that I said that to you. I'm like, girl, I forgot you said it.
Yeah, because why? We don't feed into that.
Yes.
So we know that consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that just from being in business. I had people ask me well, are you getting paid for this?
Right.
Eventually. Mm-hmm. But, you got to start somewhere. And sometimes we just want to jump into the money, not understanding that the investment is very important. And an investment is not just money, it's time as well. Right?
Yeah. And that's a lot of people think just going into spaces and trying to just bogart their way into the space. It never works out. And I tell people a lot of times, especially when we go into the rooms, doing the government events and all that, you got to go in and build a relationship. And building that relationship is going to be more important than you going in thinking that an opportunity is going to just fall in your lap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even about just going into a space, always looking for an opportunity, right? It's sometimes just rubbing shoulders with people, getting to know people and networking, and those opportunities come to you. It's just staying focused.
Yeah.
Really, that's all it is.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't see this.
No.
I did not see us working together.
Yeah, I didn't. We got backstories about how I thought she was a square and she thought I was a hussy. So the fact that we can get together every single week like this, not even absolutely knowing what day we're going to do it and what time, but we come together and we realize the importance of just staying consistent. Staying consistent.
And you never know how one person can change your life. I would say, because I tried the podcast thing before, it didn't work out like I wanted it to. It was still a wonderful experience. We still have videos on YouTube, but the way you and I, our chemistry and the way we are able to get through it together, pretty dope.
Doing it. So today we are at 7 Horsemen, located at 715 South Rowan Street.
715 West Rowan Street.
Oh, okay. You heard that. All right. So we are at 7 Horsemen. So shout out to 7 Horsemen. That is this week's sponsor.
Looking for a spot with good vibes, great food, and even better company? 7 Horsemen Billiards is where it's at. Shoot your shot on the best pool tables in the city, sip on top shelf drinks from 2 fully stocked bars, and vibe out to a live DJ bringing the heat every night. This is Fayetteville's go-to spot for good times. 7 Horsemen Billiards, where the culture comes to play.
All right, Jay. So how was your weekend?
The weekend was a weekend I'll never have again.
What? How many events did you have? You had a lot, right?
Yeah. So, the Creative Studio now, we are partnered with different venues. So I had 2 events going on at the same time. A bridal shower at Blissful Alchemist and a baby shower, which was a full event. So that means
2 events at the same time. You see my neck.
Yes. And then, not to mention, we had a photo booth right after, and then we had marksmen. So those were 2 going on at the same time too. So I have to have a team member running the booth, and then I had to go to the marksmen to catch some shots that they wanted from the last game, which was a sold out game, over 9,500 tickets. I didn't even get my VIP parking like I usually do.
So there's a lot of people in there, and it was loud again.
It was loud. It was very loud. And I think one of the players got injured. So that was kind of tough to see, tough to watch. But it was a really, really huge crowd. One of the biggest crowds I've seen. So yeah, I had a crazy weekend. And on Sunday, we had to do video for the church. So it was just one thing after another, after another, after another. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this again. So I will not be booking 4 to 5 people on one weekend ever again. I was literally, you ever get so tired that you're like shaking? You ever been like that? Probably not. Or it's just me. I'm weird.
No, because I think about how to make my life easier.
I know.
Yeah. And so, like, I know that we've tried to do the whole NC Works thing. We're going to have to give them another try. Because you need
help. I need help. And, I am thankful. I did have some teenage girls come in and help me this weekend. So they helped with cleanup and all that good stuff. And my daughter is amazing. Yeah. So she I was like, this is your crew.
Oh, yeah. So I did see her in the baby shower. Yeah. The brown and blue, like.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That was supposed to be like a garden type of thing. And it turned out really well. Okay. So I was really proud of that one. But never again will I do that. And then this weekend I've got the 5th anniversary pastoral celebration for my church, and I'm decorating for that. Okay. Over 100 and something people. So
is it at the church or it's like another place?
They have the building across the street. So
what's the church in it?
My church is Mount Pisgah. Okay. So it's in Rayford. And shout out to Pastor McCrimmon. 5 years at Mount Pisgah, 30 years in ministry. Okay. So we will be celebrating that this weekend, and I'm going to make sure it looks good. Yeah. So
if I can ask you this question, like knowing what you know now in business, what would you have done different when you first started?
Okay. So long story short, I had a really good job, making over 6 figures between the job and the bonuses and all of that. And I just took my bonus for that year and used that to start my business. I don't think that would have been how I would have started. I think I would have done a more solid business plan, looked for some funding, probably apply for some grants, especially because of what I do in the creative field, that there's things out there for me. Just did a little bit more research to make sure that I equipped myself financially going into it. That way I could expand and have a bigger team and have an assistant and have that whole team. Because by now I should have had a more solid team. Not saying that the people that work with me are not solid, because they absolutely are. They've been with me and stay with me. But we do need some more hands in it. And I don't want to burn them out. Yeah. So that's what I would have done different.
Yeah, I feel like when I first started business, it was one of those things where it was really an accident. Like somebody stole my identity, and then I'm like, okay, now I know how to fix credit. Let me call everybody and tell them I can fix their credit. And so I started charging people $50 to fix their credit. And then I just put that money back into the business. I
had the hookup.
Yeah, $50 a month. And they was getting 700s. Wow. And some of them didn't even want to pay that. So that's when my price went up. And then I was able to really hone in what I was doing. And with me being like a veteran, I was only at like 30% disabled at that time. So it was probably like $300 or $400. So that didn't impact my business either. I just really tried to use the money that I was already making to do that. And then I got into being registered here in the city of Fayetteville. At the time, they had a grant. So that really helped me. And that one grant was like $10,000. Another one was like $6,000. And so once I tapped into that space, it was totally different, and then transform it into now the government space. Yeah. I feel like everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen. You learn lessons that you need to learn in business. But now knowing exactly where to like find funding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I didn't take the time to do. I'm just jumped right into a brick and mortar. I think that the brick and mortar experience was necessary. Now I know going into it how I should prepare for that overhead. Before, I don't think I was prepared. And I think now I'm a little bit more freer because I don't have to worry about that overhead, and I can hone in and concentrate more on what my actual craft is. Yeah. And then niching that down. Yeah. In the beginning we were doing so much, and we still are doing a lot. And I'm still every single day cutting things. Like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Okay.
Or based on this experience, we're not going to do this
now
anymore.
that we are friends and we can talk about this, whenever you saw that I was creating this content space and then you had a content space, how did that make you feel? Because I think you wrote me one time and you was like, I'm inspired.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. But, you know, that's one of those things where we talked about already, like having that emotional intelligence to like see somebody doing the same thing as you, but not really letting them know like, oh.
So, I mean, I don't think I felt that way.
Okay.
I think when I looked at your space, there was a difference with mine. So in my mind, it's like, I'm going to get to know this person because what if I have a person that needs to do content and my space is not appealing to them?
Right.
So now I can go to you because you got the pink, you know, that's a different vibe than what we had going on. So
yeah. Okay. I just wanted to ask because I know, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. You'd be like,
she thought I was a hater.
I didn't think you was a hater, but I was just like, you know, like I said, it's always something. It's always somebody trying to convince you that we shouldn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I should hate you or you should hate me. And it's like, no, we have had conversations to where you like said, I inspired you. Or it's like, girl, I see you. You killing it.
So. Oh, yeah. I do remember saying that. Yeah. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. There's so much territory here. There's so many people that cover. She's got people that she knows that I ain't never met. And same vice versa. So, like, how am I supposed to handle everything? Go ahead and go to Sylvia and use her content. Okay.
So how was it working in corporate for you? I know for me, when I worked in corporate, it was really important. I started off in the mailroom. And so by the time I finished, I was in the real estate department, like the facilities department. But what was really important for me was to like learn everybody's name in the entire company. Yeah. So how was that for you?
So I worked in events in the corporate setting as well. I did, you know, major events for like health corporations. They have this thing that's called CMEs. So they have to do their continued education. So what I did was put together these big seminars, and it was my responsibility to fill up the space with different sponsors, vendors, fill up the symposium, make sure that there's someone in the theater, make sure that we've got a brand sponsor for this. All those flyers, when you go into an event and you see the big flyers or the big signs, the stuff going on the screens, that was that's the job that I was in. So it felt like it was amazing. I loved it. And I worked from home. So I did all that from home, and they sent me all over the country all the time. So I basically lost that job when the creative studio got so busy that I wasn't able to focus on it. So that was a big hit income-wise for me. And then I was like, I could do it. You know, I got this disaster, okay? Missing $100,000 a year is big. So corporate was good for me in that space. But before then, when I worked other jobs like Bank of America, Discover, Amtrak, right? Nah, it wasn't working for me. And people be like, oh, you get such good jobs. Yeah. I didn't even see it that way. I saw it as, is this going to help me pave the way to me being an entrepreneur or not? Yeah. Yeah. And I say I got a different experience on that now. I feel like if I would have known what I know now, I would have kept my job. And I would have worked my job as I was building my business. But, you know, during the pandemic 2021, everybody was like, quit your job. You don't need them. You're going to go make 6 figures. And I made 6 figures. But also during that time, I was pregnant. And I had an opportunity to keep the job that I was working. But my supervisor was so annoying. I wrote her. She sent me an email. And next thing I know, I responded back to her. It was like, I regret to inform you that
this will be my last day. Girl, they was like, we're going to still pay you for your 2 weeks, but you can quit tomorrow. Yeah. And I feel like I should have like stayed. I shouldn't have allowed her to annoy me that bad to like quit the job, because I was going on maternity leave in like 2 months.
Yeah, you could have been covered. So that's the thing, you know, like, with corporate jobs, it's putting in that 2-week notice. A lot of times you don't even make it through that 2 weeks. You can't even make it through the 2 weeks. So corporate was not for me. Will I go back to it if I have to go back to it? Absolutely. And I would never discourage anyone. When you start a business, do not believe the hype. Quit your job, start a business. That's absolutely Insane. There is nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. I'll never discourage a person from working 9-to-5. There's benefits that come with that. There is 401k, all that you got to build to as an entrepreneur, and you got it right here in front of you because you want to jump full in. You know, take some time to plan that out and execute that where it makes sense.
But it's definitely not impossible. And so, like, even for me, what was important was getting with someone who could tell me, like, as a business owner, you can have your own 401k. Because some people don't have, you know, 401k as an entrepreneur because they really don't even think that that's possible. But you're just like any other company that can be set up. And so, like, just making sure that you are talking to people and surrounding yourself with people that's going to give you information and tell you how to do things the right way. So yeah, if you're a full-time employee right now, keep your job until you,
please, put some savings. Like, ask yourself if put enough money aside that if you walk away from this job, you'll be able to still take care of yourself for at least, minimum 6 months, minimum, because I'm full entrepreneur. There is nothing, if I don't work, the money don't work, the bills don't get paid. And that's very hard when it comes to time to take a vacation, when it comes time to disconnect from your phone. You are a business 24/7 to people. So
I actually just did a call and one of the things that she was asking is like, I really want to learn how to make passive income. And I really want to understand, like, how can I make money in my business without it requiring so much of me? And, just being able to look at a company's services and say, okay, well, this is where you can make passive income, like turning one of your services into a digital product where people can just go and buy it. I really enjoy being in my bed and being like, oh, somebody just paid this. But again, it took a while to get there, watching everybody else and just seeing like I would say the reels and the TikToks and the Instagrams, like, oh, I made $10,000 in affiliate marketing. It's like, how do you do that? And what I said I was going to do is I have, like, for example, if you go to my website, personimatsolutions.com, and you go to resources, you'll see a list of affiliate offers. But people don't know their affiliate offers. They're pretty much just set up to where I partner with this company, and if somebody click on the link, then I get paid.
You get paid.
And I want to actually, what we did inside of the business is set up an email campaign that basically describes each one of those products. So then we can put that on a reoccurring basis. So as people go and click on it, then I'm generating income that way.
Smart, work smarter, not harder. I'm just trying to get there in the event business. That's kind of tough. So it's a tough situation for me.
You focus on bigger contracts too, though.
And that's where we're headed. It's just like basically just focusing on those big contracts that we know they're on retainer. They're going to pay every month. We're going to show up and do what they got to do when we need to. And I'm not exhausted. Monday, you can't make me go make a plate.
Girl.
That's how tired I am.
So, and I know we talked about this before, and you have your capability statement, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with your capability statement, are you using the past performance of that corporate company?
Yes.
You have it on there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's what you're supposed to do.
She be like thinking, I don't know.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Look, she be at like she don't know. Sometimes she be trying to be surprised. I be like, Jay.
I do a very good job because sometimes you tell me more. I'm acting like I don't know. So you can tell me more, okay? And I do retain that information. I'm just a creative. That's the thing about me is that I didn't take the time to really tap into all of the technical stuff, right? I'm just a creative. I just want to put my craft out there. I just want to share what I'm doing. I'll figure the rest out later. That don't always work out well.
I heard
do that.
Hey, somebody really important to me right now said, if you want an opportunity, go for it and figure it out later. I've been going for it ever since.
And that's exactly what I did. Like, there's never going to be a right time. You'll say, oh, I got to save this much money. You'll save that much money. Then, oh, I got to get my credit right. And so now 2 years done passed by. And so it's like, you're going to have to wake up one day and just say, I'm going to do this and do it. And if you got to figure it out later, I'm sorry. That's not the best way, but is it better to try or better to, you can't fail if you try. And if you fell forward, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I mentioned this like before on one of our other episodes, like even now with me, when you ask me like, what did you do this week? And I'm like, hey, I applied for some contracts. So whether I get the contracts or not, I've see it as a learning opportunity because
every single time.
Yeah, you can go in and say, okay, now that I didn't get this contract, now I'm going to do a public request, or what is it? Public information request. Mm-hmm. So you're basically telling that government agency, hey, I didn't get the contract, but I want to see who did and how they submitted it and what their format is. So it's always a learning experience.
Every single time is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every single time. I think that's pretty much how you grow in business.
Yeah.
That is just taking all those things that you think are failures or things that don't go the way that you think they're supposed to. You predestined, baby. Mm-hmm. So whatever way it goes, that's how you're supposed to learn, pick that up and move on to the next thing.
No losses, just lessons.
Yes. Yes.
It was something that you said earlier where you were talking about what came to my mind was like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so what came to my mind is when I went on vacation to Miami one time and we got a rental car, and the rental car was a Mercedes. I'm talking about credit score 744, like, just whatever. I can get whatever I want, go. And I feel like that was an opportunity for me to stop myself and say, just because you could don't mean you should.
So I sold cars for 10 years. So if you see me in a luxury car like that, I must have really done came up.
Yes.
Because to me, every car is the same. Like I don't see luxury. Like I had a guy one time ask me, he's like, you got a good job. You make over $100,000 a year. Why you don't drive no Benz? Because I like my Honda.
Yeah.
I like it. It's efficient. It gets me where it needs to go. My payment is not over $400 a month. I'm chilling. Why would I do it?
Heavy influence of society, people will do that. And I can admit, y'all, I fell victim. And so by the end of it, I had 2 cars and I had to pay insurance on both of those cars. I was paying like $2,500 a month just in cars and insurance.
Crazy.
And so it took for me to look back at that and be like, that was so stupid for you to do that. Like, just to say you ride in a Mercedes.
Yeah, I got 2 Hondas. I got a Honda SUV and a Honda car. And they both the same year, same color. And that's it. That's all I need right now because that's going to help me. The SUV helps me move what I need for the events. Whatever I can't fit in there, throw in the car. Yep. And if I want to go on a trip, I don't got to pull out of gas and I can get all the way across. I can get those 7-8 hours without needing no more gas in my little Honda. And that is enough for me. Mm-hmm. I could go out and get me a Genesis or something like that, but why?
Yeah.
Why? I want to wait till I want to be wealthy. So that means I want to be laying in my bed, just like you said, making passive income. Being rich and being wealthy are 2 different things.
Right.
So a lot of times, I can be rich, but I got to work. I got to keep working hard, right? Wealthy is me being able to build, take what I'm building right now and use that to live financially free in the future. I want to be wealthy. Like, that's what I want to be.
And what's crazy is that the wealthy looks at debt a lot different than we do, than the average person. So we look at debts like, oh my God, I got to put all my money because I got to pay all this debt down. They're looking at the debt like, okay, this is another tool for me to get what I want. And I'm just like, well, dang.
Yeah. So the one good thing that I have done in my life is I have not acquired a lot of debt. I don't have really any debt. I just have my cars and my house. But other than that, I haven't acquired a lot of personal debt. On the business side, that's a different story.
Well, the good thing about it is that you can always leverage your business so that way you don't have to have all of that debt on the personal side.
Yeah.
And I tell people, like, some people don't even realize that, if you're a business owner and you need somewhere to stay and your personal credit isn't where it needs to be, you can apply for an apartment in your business name. And
I have done that before. I have lived luxuriously. In a nice apartment. It was good for me because when I moved here from, I was in the DMV. So you paying $2,600 a month for rent on that salary.
Yeah.
So I moved here during the pandemic. Shout out to me during the pandemic because I had an amazing podcast, Zoom. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a clip of it in here. That's what I did. That's what I did during the pandemic. But anyway, I moved here, same income out of DMV, was able to get me a really nice apartment, paid $1,000 less, right? Yeah. And so that kind of helped me save up some money again to start my business. But, take it one. But anyway.
Yeah, it's always a way around something. It's not always no. It's like, okay, not right now, or let me figure it out.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I never feel like it's the end of the world. Like some situations may come to people and they're like, oh my God. To me, it's always like, all right, let's sit down, regroup. Okay. We can fix this.
Yeah.
You know, every single time.
I try to avoid that by going straight to the decision makers. Like, who gonna tell me yes? And the easiest way to get to them is going on LinkedIn, because they gonna tell me yes.
LinkedIn is powerful.
Yep.
If you're not plugged into LinkedIn as a business owner, you are missing out on some moolah, on some money, because those are where the decision makers are. You want to find a CEO?
Yeah.
You can find a CEO. You can get right in their inbox on LinkedIn, right? Forget Facebook. Facebook, people don't want to be bothered in that area, okay? So, you know.
They hiding on Facebook. They don't even post. You can't see nothing. But you go to LinkedIn, boy, you can
see everything that's real in one. Hop up in it. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's social media platforms. Okay, let me slow down real quick.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the Creative Campus, all right? Because a lot of these things that we're talking about will be covered in the Creative Campus. So you've got a marketing class, and you've got a social media class, which I am going to be instructing that class. So social media, we're going to definitely tap into the importance of how to use each platform. I think that a lot of us don't understand what platforms are. I should not be on Instagram seeing what should be on TikTok. Right. So many things, like you have to understand how to use the platform. Facebook is your it's your show off. Like, okay, I did this today. This is who I'm tagged. I'm gonna take pictures with this person to show you that I was with this person or what I did. Instagram is your mural. So when I go to your Instagram, I should be able to look at it and be able to tell what you do. If you're using that for a business, it should be very visual.
Yeah,
there should be lots of reels. Your pictures are cool, but if you have pictures on Instagram, these are little jewels, but do not. There's going to be so much more at the class. If you have pictures on Instagram, it should still have music, and I should still be able to swipe, because it's just so many different things that people don't learn. Yeah, and then TikTok is your wild out. That's who you are. That's who you can show that you like to dance with your family. You like to do all these things, show your work, but don't put your TikTok stuff on your Instagram. And I'm going to break that down in the Creative Campus of how you should be leveraging these platforms. And LinkedIn should not have your reels that are on your Instagram. There's so many different things, right, to understand how to push yourself through the algorithm. Yeah. My social media and my website has gained that's basically where my business comes from. It's very organic. It's not people that know me, that reach out to me. They are able to go on each platform and see what I do in a different capacity, in a different way of telling the story, right? And so those are some things that would help you. That's why you need to tap into the Creative Campus. I'll put the website on the screen. Classes start March 4th. If you miss that class, it's okay. There are 7 more that you can take. And then we're going to be doing it all over again. So it's something I want to continuously do to educate business owners and entrepreneurs on the real side of things, not just what you see online, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things, too, that you could do with the Creative Campus over time is, document the class and then present it to a government agency to be able to offer it for them to pay you.
For real. Yeah. When I was in Delaware, I had a group of girls. It was called Girl Talk, Talk Back. It was probably 60 girls in this program. And I figured that out then. Like, the city needs this program. Like, these kids, I'm changing lives, right? So let me go down here and talk to city council and see what they can do to help me with this program. And they did. They absolutely did. They gave money, they donated, they did all types of things that kept us going. Yeah.
I remember you told us that story.
Yeah.
At the East Side Round Table.
Yeah, I used to be Let's not talk about the East Side. I was showing my butt.
Yeah, you was in there yelling at us. Okay.
Yeah, y'all going to listen. Listen, these resources out here, how do I tap into them without having to know somebody, to know somebody, to know somebody? I'm trying to get into the door.
Because you got to know somebody. You got to get in there. They got to know you. That's what it is.
Yeah. So
one thing, I was about to say, we got to cut into pretty much the federal cuts just happened. And talking about that, I know there's an article we actually just saw it before we started filming, but how the agriculture industry is being affected.
Yeah, affected.
Yeah. So with I know with the state of North Carolina, SBTDC and some other agencies, they are heavily trying to fix this issue or offer different classes and training. But I think that it's going to affect a lot of farmers. And so we're actually having a Black Business Mixer at the FSU Hub coming up Thursday. Wow. Yeah, February 27th. And we're actually going to be talking to a farmer. So she's going to be on the panelist. And so we'll get to actually ask her, like, how is this affecting you? You know, what do you think you need? What kind of support do you need? And the whole reason for this event is just bring everybody together so we can talk about different resources and also help people expand their networks around the city.
Yeah, because you got colleges like Florida A&M, we got A&T. They're all getting that. Shout out to Joey. Our producer is cutting up. He graduated from A&T. Young A&T people different, okay? They got a different type of pride. But yeah, so schools like that, colleges like that, they're affected by this, and that's a big deal. That's why your eggs is going to start costing. I mean, I was in Family Dollar the other day, literally $9 for eggs, and I only got 12. I didn't get 18.
I remember I was able to get some for $2.
$3 tops, right? Now you're spending $9 on this. Like, where does this stop? Where do we draw the line? Joann's Fabric.
Oh, is it
closing?
Yeah.
Party City.
I did see that in my head, like how they're closing.
Yeah, Party City closing.
Yeah.
Something going on.
Yeah.
And them planes, I ain't even going to get into them.
Well, I'm going to say when it comes down to, because it's right now, DEI is so big, and we mentioned this on a couple of our episodes. DEI is so big, but I also think this is an opportunity for us to look at it in a way where we've been able to rebuild so much as a community. Like, you know, I learned that Tulsa was burnt down more than the one time that we heard about.
That was
like,
a thriving Black community.
Yes, like 11 times. The city of Durham was a thriving Black community. And really, towns like that were affected when we were segregated or desegregated and blended with others,
Lake
right?
Lanier.
Yes. So I got to watch that movie. But so to me, all I hear is like you have to create your own table.
You do.
And so what I did, took it upon myself. And I created our own table. So if you're watching this, what's happening? Black Fayetteville NC is now looking for you to join our Facebook group. I'm going to tell you, and this is like breaking because I didn't really talk to anybody about my experience or, you know, because I was a moderator in the group.
Yeah.
And so I did see how they were able to pick and choose what they wanted to post. There was a couple instances like where I posted how Fayetteville is a top business, number 2 for Black businesses in the entire United States. Yes. And do you know they turned the comments out?
A lot of people don't know that too. Houses the most Black businesses.
Yes.
And
And so to me, it was a couple of things that happened back to back where I was like, okay. And on top of the fact that my attention span wasn't where it needed to be to approve all the posts and stuff, but there's a couple of things where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do this. And I ended up backing out, and I was led to create this group. So it's not like me trying to, I would say, be backhanded about it, but I feel like we as a community have to stick together.
Yeah, you can't feel any type of way about that. Yeah. We owe that to ourselves, right? To do those things to propel us economically, because they try, and I'm not saying anyone in particular, but people will try to hold you back. We are a very smart, athletic group of people with a lot of culture, right? And so why would you not want to be, you know,
in a space? And so for me, I wanted to be able to still like, okay, y'all can come and have fun, but let's really look at what we need to be doing. Like economic development is important, and we need to be looking at resources that's going to help propel us forward, not continue to allow people to make a mockery of our culture or mockery of what we do or how hard we work. Because there was an instance, like one of my good friends, she wanted to post in the group because she has a bakery business, Lene & Co. And she literally did everything they wanted her to do as far as the kitchen license, all those things. And they still wouldn't let her to post.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what?
And she could make some money.
Yeah.
She was able to post on those platforms. Yeah. Because she has amazing work. It's crazy what we see behind the scenes. Yeah. And our dollar is just as precious as anybody else. Matter of fact, we got
it's going to be a blackout on Friday.
Yeah,
y'all better keep your coins or go shop with a Black business.
Go shop with a Black business. There's nothing wrong with that. And please, I'm not saying that a Black business needs to be treated any differently. Nope. But you give a lot of other businesses a lot more grace than you give us. You will go to your counterpart and spend whatever. Let me give you an example. I had a lady come up to my venue one time. She kept things overnight. Now, at any other venue, they don't allow you to keep items in the venue overnight. But she assumed because we were the same that I was not going to charge. I wasn't going to give her a security deposit back.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you your security deposit back because what that did was that made us have to come in an extra day and then move things around for the next party. That costs money. That's not cheap. Okay. Now they got to come in 2 hours early because you left your stuff there. Okay. But you're a black business. I thought, but if I was not a black business, you wouldn't have asked me that.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't have asked me for the 15% discount. So give your black businesses some grace. Shop at them. If they do something wrong and it's not intentional, don't go blasting them. Because when you start your business, somebody's going to go blasting you.
Yeah, you got to think about karma.
Think
It's
about
real.
that stuff. Talk to that person. Explain to them what they did wrong. Give them the opportunity to fix it before you go online blasting people and giving us your side of the story, okay? Because that really does affect businesses. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And we got to learn to respect other black businesses and take them seriously and not expect less from them for the same work. Because that's what we have to do when we work corporate jobs. We had to go to work. We had to work harder because we want to, and we're making the same, not even the same, less than our counterpart. We always got to do more, right? So give your other black businesses some grace and spend money with black businesses. When you look to go buy something, look a little bit further and see if there's a vendor or a store that has the same item, but they are more like you. Not saying, I'm not telling you to be discriminatory, but I'm telling you to help push your black businesses, push them forward so that we can grow and people can respect our dollar. Because without us spending money, half of them businesses wouldn't be on the road.
Okay. So what? Apparently Target has lost $15 billion.
Well, you can look at Target's parking lot and tell Target done lost some people.
Oh my goodness. But you know what too, even with the Future Rich Aunties, what has been important for me is to create an inclusive environment.
Yeah.
But I can tell you in the last couple months, I have gotten the question, is this group only for black women? And I'm like, well, if you feel that way, don't even bring your ass over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you shouldn't even have to ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to create an environment where like you even feel a difference.
No.
Like, just come over here, sit down, see what we got going on. Everybody, and I have white women who have joined the group and they don't make it known that they're white. Like,
I mean, if you look at the numbers though, look at the numbers, how many businesses are ran and founded by black women.
Yeah.
Right? So those numbers are going to supersede. DEI really affected the white women a lot.
And it's not even about just affecting like the white woman or race or anything like that. It's so many other things that's affected. And I can't think of any right now. So take that out, Joey. I just remember the list.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so it's so many other aspects of DEI that's been affected.
Yeah, absolutely. And we gotta take that into consideration. Yeah.
So yeah, y'all.
Anyway, we can talk. I think this is a topic that we could probably talk about for another hour. We're gonna let y'all get up out of here. Again, we're on episode 8, so clap it up for us. Clap it up for us being consistent. So I just want to plug while we're here is that if you want to start your own podcast, go back and look at these last 7 episodes. I want to say that Joey, from where we started with our first episode to now, boy, we are all the way 4K, okay? So, take a look at that and our growth, and, we can always help you do a podcast as well. And I'm going to stay on you about being consistent with it, because even if only 30 people look at our podcast, if we fill this place up with 30 people looking at us,
that's a lot of people,
that's
girl.
a good amount of people.
My armpits gonna be wet and sweaty because I get nervous talking in front of people. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. So we're getting very close to wrapping up this season. So we've got like 4 more episodes left. So we will let you guys know when we're gonna go live, because we want to bring some of you guys in and let you give us some feedback, do some Q&As. And you know how they used to do on Ricky Lake, and they probably don't know about that. When they used to call it,
and pass the microphone around.
Pass the microphone around. We're going to do all that. So, so again, we want to thank you for tuning in to the She Means Business podcast. Thank you to 7 Horsemen for allowing us to use their space and being this week's sponsor. Anything you want to say, Sylvia?
I just want to make sure that y'all check out the Future Rich Aunties annual event that we're having. It's April 11th through the 12th. We have tickets on sale at futurerichaunties.com. And if you're a woman in business, whether you work in corporate or you have your own business, we want you in the room.
Or you're aspiring.
Yeah. So the theme is get in the room. That's all that matters. We really want to get you in the room so you can build relationships. Like I said, whether you are looking to start a business, you're already in business, or you're in a position at a corporate company that can help a business owner. We want you there.
Yeah. And plug into the Creative Campus, thecreativestudiobyj.com. And we thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.